Welcome to another video from me, Christopher DBG. I apologise. It's been a bit of a hard time. I haven't been able to do videos properly, and NFL it's been a struggle to get those videos out. So, reason is my nan has passed, and it's just hit home a little bit. Needed to just take a break. But back now, and got 3 weeks really to talk about, and a lot has changed. So stay tuned. Let's catch up and let's see how it's going on this Thanksgiving Day. Hello, so we're just doing a quick review of week 9 and 10. So as you can see, week 9, I won just by 95 points, putting me at a better record there, going up. And then on week 10, I lost, purely really error on my part. I was actually in the hospital with my nan, and I just didn't do my timesheet, my team settings properly, and I would have won if I just put Gino in instead of Micho, which was my aim, but I just didn't get around to editing anything, and just sort of left it. But it's just a game. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So that was week 10. Now for week 11, we'll go into details and let's see exactly what happened there. If I can. But let me know how you're getting on with your teams. It is definitely a struggle to get those points in a moment. So for week 11, I beat Chip, who is currently in the lead. His team just fell apart very quickly with injuries all across the board, and I did as well, to be fair. I got some injuries, but I got some good scores where I did not expect it. So going forward, so this was last week, and here it was. Matthew Stafford, 9 points. Kyler Murray coming back, I think is a top 5 contender. He's got legs and he's got good matchups as well at 21 points. Rashawn White bringing in, I think he's actually a top 10 running back at the moment, doing really well. Aaron Jones, nothing but a bit of disappointment, come back injured, and he's out for this Thanksgiving week. Kenneth Walker injured as well, only 2 points going there. Singletary getting 19 points, doing really well. Don't expect it going forward because they are now going back to a committee, but he's might have proven that he is now that deserves the RB1. AJ Brown just being a decoy pretty much in a really needed game. It's just the quiet thing. DJ Moore, 22 points, getting some great things. Fields is back and is just balling out to him, which is brilliant for me. Mike Evans, 15 points, doing really well there. Everyone's just unexpected. Didn't give him as much credit as what he deserves. He's a great wide receiver with arguably not a great quarterback, but I actually think he's doing well. Johnson, if it wasn't for that late play, didn't really get much involved in the game at all. Kelsey, 15 points, doing well there. McBride, 9 points. Was hoping a little bit more, but he's sort of a safe bet at the moment going forward. Garrett Wilson, well, the Jets have dropped their QB. Is it better? I think so. Is it going to put Garrett Wilson back into the wide receiver 1 or 2 contention? No, I still think he's a flex play. Eckler not doing much. Expect a better things going forward. Everyone was hoping for Achane to come back and smash it. Back too early, injured. He's now off again. Don't know what's going on there. Geno Smith, 13 points. He is also coming up with an injury and has a tough game this week. So don't know whether or not to play him or not. Seahawks only 6 points, and Cowboys 21 points and playing Washington this week, so I expect big points from them again. On the bench, Reed having a great game now with Jones out. Actually, he's a viable wide receiver, I think. Dobbins is obviously the primary, which was on my bench. He scored a touchdown at 16 points as well. Herbert back, only getting 5 points, but is being eased in. Is a bit of a run committee there, but I do think that he is going to be that running back one going forward. On the other side, Rams lost. It's all but out of the playoff contention now, and Badlands 159. It's really scary points there. Prescott 15 points, having a good game. Burrow now out for the season at 8 points, which does affect Badlands quite a lot. Prescott, I think, really big things this weekend. Or tonight, actually, isn't it? Tony Pollard at 17 points, doing again. Good running game. They need to give him more. Joe Mixon, I expect him to be more used as a safety blanket for getting at least 20 touches a game, really. So let's go forward with that. Bryce Freeman. Williams is due back this week, so should be good and put him out of contention for being any part of the game. But keep an eye on that injury report. If Williams for some reason isn't come back, then he is a good start. Montgomery, 17 points. I think he's got a massive game this week. Diggs, I think equally he's got a big game this week because he is in a bit of a battle with Eagles, so we'll see what's going on. Allen, you're starting every week, so a great game. Terry McLaurin, they're throwing the ball all over the place. It's just hard to know who's going to get those decisive wins or not. And Thielen, a great game. I think it's probably most best wide receiver you could have got for his draft rating. He is skyrocketed. Great game. He's not getting the touchdowns, but he's definitely getting the plays and the volume, which is what you want if you're not getting anything. Togan Thomas 8 points and Schultz getting 11. Both are being looked at, but not much. Tank Bell proving that he can just ball out at the moment at 28 points. Actually, I do rate him in the top 10 this week going forward. Again, another person who I rate in the top 10, Brian Ayuk. We'll see what he's going to get. 26 points that game. Great game. Joshua Doss proving he can play, and with Jefferson possibly back, just improves his upside as well. Russ Williams. It's Russ Williams, the 14 points. Niners 11 points, and Buffalo Bills having a great game at 21. On the bench, nothing really affects it. There was some buys going forward. On the other side, we had White 103 and Hitman getting a 125. Good scores by both, but not enough for Isla White or Isla Trump. Lamar doing well, 23 points. Has lost Andrews, which is also in his team for the season. So expect other people to get the upside, maybe Beckham or say Flowers being a more viable going forward. Somehow he's going to throw the ball pretty much. Should they rely on the running game? Hopefully so. So Brian Robinson gets more of the 20 points that he got in this game. Stevenson steps in. He is taking more share away from Henry, but it was a poor game, and I sort of expected that the game would just be out beyond Tennessee very quickly, and they had to try and play behind, which doesn't play in the running game. Williams at 6 points. Do expect better going forward. Chandler, running back, Minnesota, 15 points. It's a good game for him. Saquon Barkley, he's probably the safest, apart from McCaffrey, going forward for getting the points. He's going to be relied on all over the place. So 15 points at a minimum, easy. 29 points. What a game. Hawkinson, 15 points. They were just throwing it all over the place. He's always going to be seen as the main target. Rice, if he gets the ball, brilliant. You're not expecting big things going from him on this week. Say Flowers going forward, with Andrews out, that volume has to go to somewhere, and he is a good candidate for that, if not Beckham as well. Njigba, 7 points, doing well on that. Puku, 18 points. Now, he could be injured this week, so watch out your IRs or your injury reports, because he could be in for a big game if he starts. Ron Robinson, 20 points, great running back. If they could just keep using him, that will be great going forward. Cleveland Browns back up QB, only 6 points. It's not expecting big things, just a filler there. Trevor Lawrence coming back, doing 31 points, unexpected, but the sort of like what you wanted at the start of the year. Is it going forward as a playoff run? Could be dangerous if you could pick him up. Commandos 11 points and Jets only 1 point on the bench. Nothing really changing. Obviously, it was that buys. Fun at Wanderers being dominant again, 131 points to Oriental Lovers and 19 points. Purdy, never spoken about, but he is an unsung hero. As a QB, he is really consistently good. 26 points here. Justin Fields is coming back into the game and making his whole team viable, almost at 20 points. Jamar Gibbs, 20 points as well, having a great game and expecting bigger things going for him going forward. Josh Jacobs, a bit disappointing. Going forward, I sort of expect those sort of 15 to 13 points. Only getting 5 points there. Swift having a good game there. Going to be tough this week to see what he goes for. But I still expect him to be looked at a lot to give his wide receivers a little bit of ease in the game. Breece Hall going to be looked at a lot more. He is a good candidate going forward for a top 10, I believe. Andrews actually having a fantastic game and actually getting a touchdown. Good going forward. Jamar Chase with Burrow being out. Is he going to be looked at more, or is it more of a tight end situation with Hudson, I believe? He's going to have to perform to support his QB. He's not going to ball out as much as Burrow, so volume and the whole team is going to be down. Jalen Waddle, 10 points, is going to get a ball, so let's see what's going to go forward. Taylor Lockett, 11 points, not much there to add. Alton, 8 points, and Jico, only 1 point, just wasn't looked at. Tennessee just were playing behind all over the place. Cooper Kupp, injured, only 2 points. Do we expect him to go forward? I think he's completely out for week 12, so hopefully something comes from there. Pickett, only 4 points, just inconsistency all around for Pittsburgh. It's hard to trust him as a QB at the moment. Dolphins 13 and Raiders 7. And Gus Edwards having another great game at 20 points. Just seems to find the end zone. Could have made a difference. Dak, great score, high score, 449, against Chicago, getting 101. We had 18 points by Hurts and Goff, 13. You had Henderson, who's now not there. It's 12 points, and I thought he was playing well. Definitely better than Najee Harris, who's been outscored by this guy. Jalen Warren at 22 points. Give this man the ball in the opportunities he is performing. Connor only 8. St. Brown 21. He's just so consistently great. Hill 30. He's just having great games. Karen Ridley at 30 points. If they can just throw the ball, he is finding space somehow. He's got the speed and the effort, but it's the volume which is the problem. You're always waiting for that big play at the moment. Marcus Brown, 9 points. And the tight ends were a little bit disappointing, but expecting to go forward. Jake Ferguson, only 6 points. Hockenson, only 9 points, but expect him to be top 3 tight end this week. Going well. Madison just not having a good run game. Godwin just wasn't being looked at enough. Only 9 points, but expect better things going forward. Herbert, only 25 points, having a great game. Should be good going forward. Patrick Mahomes, 16 points. Could have got 100 points if his wide receivers actually could catch the ball. Was an awful game. Now, I come from a rugby perspective, though. If a person misses the ball or drops the ball, they normally blame it on the passer. In this case, you blame it on Holmes. I don't think that's the case in here. His wide receivers were open a lot of the times and just dropped the ball. Don't know what's going on there. On the bench area, he's got a QB of Love, which are doing well at 20 points. And Patrick Mahomes expects top 5 things going forward. And lastly, we have Tampa, 105 points. Only getting beaten by 5 points. Really needed that win. And I'm playing this week. Cleveland Steamers is now 7-4. And we have really good games. Bruce Young just not playing well, unfortunately. Josh Allen, even though you get interceptions when he plays certain teams, he is just balling out at 22 points, and I think he is a QB1 this week against the Eagles. It's just going to be all over the place. McCaffrey, 20 points, is the most consistent RB there is. He's number one going forward. Travis Etienne only getting 8 points, but expect him going forward doing well. Cook getting 18, consistency. He's actually getting over 100 yards quite often at the moment. Pacheco, 9 points. If they can just establish the run a little bit more, I think he just opens up, and I think he can get those big plays. My wide receiver 1 this week is CeeDee Lamb at 15 points. I think he's going to do remarkably well. Deebo Samuel is a flex play at the moment at best. It's just hard to know when those predictions go, but if he scores and is on your bench, you're angry. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, sort of there. DJK Midcap having 20 points, having a great game for him, being looked at a lot more. Collins expecting 13 points consistently going forward, going well there. Kirk Met always going to be looked at in Chicago, so we'll see what's going there. Sam Poitier, he's on the field, so as a tight end, that's what you want. Is he getting the volume? Sometimes no, but he is being looked at in the end zone. So going forward, expecting better things. Amari Cooper, 7 points. With all the changes, I'm concerned about him and a whole wide receiver there in Browns being going forward. Kittle, 22 points, having a great game. It's probably the only 2 tight ends that you want to start in this team. It's great considering what is on his bench. Brandon Cooks, actually I do rate him. I think he's in my top 20. He's in the top 30 wide receivers this week. Going to be a great game for him. And CJ Stroud actually having a really good game there, 15 points. And Jags 9 and the Lions 6. Everything else, that is pretty much it where we stand at the moment. Let's have a look. Standings. We are in about 80% chance of getting into the playoffs. Yeah, 89%. Still want that win to secure it. Don't want to leave my fate with others. As you can see, there is big percentages on pretty much everyone. The only one who is really potentially fighting in it is Tampa, who I'm playing now, so he needs to beat me with that consistency. And not Oriental Lovers, fate is in other people's hands, but he just needs to win his games as well. So I'm currently 6th, as you can see. We'll see what's going on. But best of luck to everyone. Hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving, and have a great day, and speak to you all soon.